Welcome back to Do You Even Binge? Or do you?
Do you?
I always binge.
I don't know.
I've been in shows that sometimes I shouldn't be watching. It's like grabbing a bowl of cauliflower with no butter or nothing in it. Why am I eating it like this?
You know, that cauliflower describes. I told you I binged that fucking movie. I'm sorry, I said the F word within the first 10 minutes, but that show, Will Trent, is the worst show on TV, I think. You know, I love crime shows, but here's this Latino guy, he's Puerto Rican. He's leading this show. This was not even on my topic list today, but this show looks like it'd be great. The women wear the best clothes. The female detectives on that show, they are so nicely dressed, and I just I want all their clothes. Yeah, look at that one. Look at that. She's so classy. She's like the chief, the captain there. But they're just always so nicely dressed, and they wear like really nice sneakers. The women wear really nice sneakers, but like dressed like in a suit almost. Really good outfit. Anyway, Will Trent is a Southern Puerto Rican from the South.
From the South.
In Georgia. I don't know how he ended up there, but anyway, so he's an orphan or a former orphan, and he became a detective, and he's also dyslexic. So there's a lot of things going on with that show. They're trying too hard to do too many things. And but I tell you, I have watched 2 seasons of that show, and I don't like it at all. I don't know why I keep watching. It's like I have to see where they go with this, and I didn't watch the last 2 episodes of the last season, so I'm done officially with that. But it's an embarrassing. But it is like that cauliflower you're talking about.
They get you, huh?
They get you. They got me with the clothes. They got me with him. I'd never heard of him before, and I was like, okay, let me watch this. No, it's embarrassing.
I binge watched a whole season of Tulsa King.
Oh yeah, you said you.
He keeps it tight.
This is after you gave your little description of it in the first episode of our podcast.
Oh yeah, because I watched 2 episodes, but I watched the whole thing. I think I made it to season 2. And doesn't get better.
No.
Like, you want to give him a chance because he's Rocky and he needs the money.
He doesn't need the money.
He's also supporting his brother still, man, and other Stallones.
Frank and you used to have the same agent. Remember Jay? He was Frank's agent, right? For a long time. And Mr. Belding, right? That was his other client. And then you. And I was like, we got to get out of this agency.
Yeah, man.
These guys aren't working.
And dogs. He was on Tulsa King is weird, man, because he's like out of his I don't know, man. But it's he produced it, so he can do whatever he wants.
And he sells weed. Is that his thing? He's getting into the weed game, the legal weed game. Now that he's out of prison.
Not just weed. Like, they took over like a EDM party, and they were selling gas tanks, and they were filling them up with balloons and selling them for like $10 each.
Damn.
So this biker gang started fighting with him. And then, oh man, it's just...
Biker gang tried to get in on...
And the whole town got into a fight with a biker gang.
You think that'd be small potatoes for a biker gang?
Not for Stallone and his big arms.
That's funny. Anyway, yeah, so I didn't want to jump into what we're binging yet, but we can if you want. You want to go into that?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Do you like Tulsa King? You're not going to watch it anymore, or you're going to keep going?
I'll probably watch his clips on Instagram and TikTok only.
That's how you get the real. Who was it? Was it you guys who were the production crew here, Romel and Evan? Were you guys the ones talking about watching? No. That was Patton Oswalt. Again, from our conversation with the great Patton Oswalt at that party, he told us, we were talking about the new generation and how they consume stuff. Like Isaac and some other younger people, they'll watch a podcast like 1.5 times or whatever. So they 1.5 speed so they can get through it quicker because they just don't have time for waiting around. And I never thought of doing stuff like that. But what a great way to jump through something that you're not really You don't really want to watch every second of it, right?
I don't want to watch every second of it.
So
So, Tulsa King, let me tell you. I don't want to watch every second of it.
so
So, Tulsa King, let me tell you.
that's not 1.5 times. That's like
Yeah, but
0.5.
if they haven't sped up. It's
Oh, it's gonna sound normal. You're tricking him. You got it all planned out. No, but Patton told us, he said, "Oh, I've heard another theory that if you watch the
oh, yes.
if you watch a series, let's say this series exists already, the full season of something, if you watch the first episode and the last episode you watch the recap, like, previously on White Lotus or whatever it is you're binging, right? So if you watch the last episode after, the first episode, you watch it in its entirety. The last episode, you just watch the recap, and then you know what happened in the whole series. But I feel like, I mean, I guess that works if you don't care too much about seeing like performances and like, storyline and all that stuff. If you just want to see what happened. But isn't that crazy? Some people are doing that now.
I'm going to try that with Tulsa King.
Let me know. Let me know if it makes sense. Because they say it'll make perfect sense if you watch the first episode of a season and then the final episode, you just watch the recap. Then you can, and actually, I guess you watch the final season or the final episode too. So that's 2 full episodes and a recap, and that's it. And then you got the whole thing. But I feel like what's the point? You miss all the little jokes or little.
Oh, there are no jokes in Tulsa King.
I know there's no jokes in Tulsa King.
But it's just tough to watch because
Well, why push through and finish?
He's like James Bond still like trying to hook up. And he hooks up with like a woman somewhere, and she ended up being an FBI agent. Then when she at work, she can't really talk about it because they're looking for him. And she's an FBI agent. But when she told him his age, she like ran out. He said, "How old are you?" 77.
She got creeped out.
Yeah,
that's Andrea Savage from Step Brothers. Yeah.
She had a small ass part of Step Brothers.
Well, yeah, that's right. I guess so. She was in it pretty much in the beginning.
He was just
Throughout
a
the
carrot
beginning.
chase at the end of the movie.
Isn't she at the Catalina wine mixer or no?
I don't know.
No. I guess not.
She's Two-Faced.
She is Two-Face. And yeah. Do you want to explain what a Two-Face is?
Because right there she looks like, I don't know who.
Yeah, she doesn't look like herself.
So those 2 guys right there are from New York. And they hate Stuart Saves. Well, they hate the Tulsa King. And right there, that scene right there, he's going to ask her, what did you have on your phone and who you talking to? You don't know what a cell phone is.
He's like those people in Congress that were asking the TikTok.
Yeah, man, he went like this.
Oh my God.
He goes,
so infuriating.
Because he hired his driver to drive everywhere, but that guy had to go with his dad. He goes, I can't drive it. He goes, oh, so what do I do? Order an Uber. Uber. So he's like,
Folks
in the corner waiting for an Uber to pass by.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a joke. And then he goes,
They said there are no jokes.
He goes back to the hotel and then somebody tells him to download the app. And then he tells that guy, I don't know, I mean, he might drive somebody out of a car and he tries to pay him cash. I don't know what he does.
That's Stallone's Uber.
But still, man, like he was not in prison long enough to not know these things.
Yeah.
Unless he was in the hole the whole time. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, even prisoners even prisoners know what a cell phone is and how that works and everything. Apps.
And he comes out super buff.
Well,
with hair darker than Rodrigo's.
Oh my God, don't start. I've been binging this week. You ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell Me How I Died. And I binged all 10 episodes of the first season, which ended last year. And that show is really, really good. They focus on the forensic pathologist, medical examiner, and then they help the detectives basically solve the crime. And sometimes it's not a crime, sometimes it's a suicide. And then, it wasn't even ruled a suicide, it was just ruled mysterious or whatever. But they go through, they look at the body, they look at the bones, they look at everything and just figure out how this person must have died. They'll see like a shape cut into somebody's bone and then, oh, this is the kind of knife it was or whatever. It's just a typical forensic show, but I really like the way it's put together. It's very good. That's a different movie, but that's a movie. That's not the one. But Tell Me How I Died is what I've been watching. It's good. Very good. And I can't wait till it comes back. And I never know when. I don't watch enough regular TV to see promos for stuff, so I have no idea when these things come back. We've lost all sense of like when seasons start.
I know. That show reminded me of a show I watched, and it was because of a TikTok we already watched. There's like they're talking about the actors in this show, and how this show is kind of resurfaced now. People are watching it again. And then they show the people in the show, they're working like odd jobs. They're like out of work actors.
Mm-hmm.
They're still trying to get gigs. But that show bombed when it first came out. But the young people love it. I think it's called Pushing Daisies. I don't get it. But
Pushing Daisies. I heard of that.
It's an investigative show where this girl or this guy, I don't know who he is, he touches the dead person and he gets to talk to them real briefly about what happened, how their death happens. And then she works with a private investigator. And I watched, I think I watched the whole.
Well, that sounds like something I'd like to watch.
3 episodes.
So he's not.
Sad because there's no season 2. There's no closure. It's gonna end like that. And then when you look up the actors, they're out there working right now.
It's only one season.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do.
I don't even know how many episodes it is. I think
we already ran into that problem when we binged Friends from College, which ended up.
When did this show come out? Pushing Things. I don't even know.
I don't know. Oh, it says 2007, 2008. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and it just disappeared to the younger generation found it and they put it up there with one of the weird show that you never see again.
Crazy. Never heard of it. I mean, I heard the name, but I never paid attention to it at all. I thought it was like a sitcom or something. Look at it. It's like a sitcom, right? Oh, wacky.
Hope is the one I'm talking about.
I also this week, unfortunately, I did my own binging of this. So we wanted to start a new. We so far we haven't reviewed anything new on this podcast because we were only on episode 3, and we're just getting our feet wet and seeing how this goes, seeing what works, etc. But I'd like to start a new segment called, I don't know if this name is going to stick, but Skip It or Scarf It, or Scarf It or Skip It, because it's a binge podcast, right?
Yeah.
So you scarf up food, right? You scarf up, or skip it. I don't know if that name's going to stick, but so I actually watched something that everybody was talking about last week, and not really in a great way, which was Bad Thoughts, Tom Segura, and it's his version of a sketch show, but not like comedy sketches in front of an audience or what you think of as a sketch show. It works more like what you were showing me, the clips you were showing me today earlier, Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave, right? They're set up more like vignettes, like movie vignettes. And the problem is that the writing is really bad and the acting is really bad. And I guess the ideas are okay, but it just turns into like a lot of shit humor. And I laugh at shit humor, but it's a lot. And it's blatant. Like, it's like you see the shit. And there's a weird scene with Kirk Fox, or a weird, I guess it's
Kirk Fox, man. Everybody gives them a chance.
I like Kirk Fox. But there's 6 episodes technically, but they all run together. And it just kept coming on. There was just more and more and more. And I was like, when is this thing over? But there was a lot of hope behind this show. And I don't know that it turned out very well at all. It's not, I would say skip it. But yeah, it's bizarre. And the reviews. So I looked for some reviews, but I couldn't find them, any good reviews really. But if you want to put up some of the reviews, I did find one of them was hilarious. I don't know if we can read these. Oh yeah, there we go. Legitimately the worst thing I've ever watched. Genuinely nothing funny about this show. So bad. Hate on behalf of the universe.
His fans like it?
No.
Oh.
His fans are upset about it. I had to stop at the episode where they threw kids and porn in. Getting a man to come by getting another man to poop between his legs in a video game that a kid plays is wrong. So that getting a man to poop between his legs is the Kirk Fox episode, which is so bizarre. It's so gross. Don't start out with you shitting your pants and showing it to us for more than 5 minutes. Yeah, so it shows like Tom's poop covered butt walking around. I don't want to see fucking diarrhea ass on TV.
So it's like they're like, I don't know what they call their show when they do a live show, a pay-per-view.
Your Mom's House Live or whatever?
No, they do like a pay-per-view when they show hardcore stuff like that.
Tom Segura?
And his wife.
Yeah, it's called Your Mom's House Live.
And it's live but not live on stage. It's like live on.
No, it's live. Like they do a pay-per-view. They do what's it called?
Yeah, that thing. So they show that type of stuff, right?
I don't think so.
So they did.
No, they just do they do their podcast and then they have guests come in sometimes that are fake guests. And then they have crazy guests who do wild
that's what I'm talking about.
things, but it's still.
They show creative videos.
Yeah, maybe. I've never watched
people watch that with a bucket on the side because it's gonna be so gross that they're gonna throw up.
Ew.
So this is like the fans know they must love this then, because I've seen like videos of like you and I sitting on this blanket getting ready for that live show, and they both have a bucket like
gross,
getting ready to get grossed out.
Ooh, one down. I know somebody who won't be having any.
I'm starting to feel funny.
Well, I feel fine. I guess I'm gonna.
Oh boy! That means I win! I get to eat.
Oh God! Why didn't anybody tell me?
Does anybody really throw up in their bucket, or it's just?
Yeah, and they have a big ass dinner. He tells them to have a big dinner and get ready for this one.
Yuck.
And they have actually a bucket getting ready to throw up. So I'm maybe thinking their fans were ready for this. They were probably watching it fucking aside.
I've read many reviews where they say man, I loved all your specials or whatever. I think such and such special is one of the greatest specials in the last 20 years. Can't watch this, so I had to turn it off. Blah, blah, blah.
Damn.
This person said, I just didn't get it. It's like the very dark or disturbing slapstick funny, I guess. I feel like Tom Segura's humor is that creepy, sweaty, emo guy in high school that just stares at you for ages and then laughs like a honky-tonk afterwards. I don't know what that means, but I thought that was the funniest little review. But yeah, it's weird. But I've read lots of reviews on Reddit and whatnot, but they were fans, or they are fans still, but this is not for them.
Wow.
And I'd say skip it. But even if you're a fan, go check it out and see. You have to check it out if you're a fan of his. But I don't know. I make no promises.
Do you know how much the audience likes when you hear vomit clips? Yes, they do.
Don't like it.
They message me about it.
Stop it.
So, what?
Well, it's not that bad.
You wanted to talk about, you said you forgot to show one of your favorite. We did the Prostitute with a Heart of Gold episode last week, right? And you said you forgot to mention one.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention. I forgot to mention that on that For Your Consideration movie, it's about actors getting nominated for an Academy Award. At Catherine O'Hara, Home Alone's mom, they're showing a montage of all her acting work, and on one of them she's playing like a blind prostitute.
This is part of the trailer.
Could I have your name, please?
Hack, Marilyn Hack, stage 11.
You were in that prison movie where you punched that little girl in the face.
No.
Marilyn Hack made quite the splash for her portrayal of Imogene, the blind prostitute. And you know what they say about blind prostitutes? You really have to hand it to them. We can cut that out. I don't know where I got it.
Fred Willard. holding it down in a lot of Christopher Guest movies. Very funny guy. But yeah, so but that's funny because you thought of that right when we got home, and I was like, you know what? Let's do the next show on Christopher Guest movies because he's done a lot of our favorite movies. We kind of bonded over that early on, right? Like, but you had never seen This Is Spinal Tap, which was the very first one. But he didn't direct that one. He wrote it because the way they always write all their shows.
Yeah, the first one I ever saw was Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah, and you saw that before we met.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Waiting for Guffman. Well, let's go back though, because Spinal Tap. This Is Spinal Tap was the first. This Is Spinal Tap is probably considered the first mockumentary ever made, and it was in this style where there's a very loose script, if any at all. It's really an outline of like points they're going to hit. And it's improvised from scene to scene, you know, and then they improvise a lot more than they end up cutting together for the movie. But This Is Spinal Tap was written by Christopher Guest and Michael McKean. And Rob Reiner, I guess, wrote a little bit, but Rob Reiner directed it. And after that, though, Christopher Guest took that style and that became his style. That became his thing after that. And it was like, it's kind of like this mockumentary. It's never really, you don't see a film crew or anything ever.
No.
But it's basically the way The Office works as well. And I guess Parks and Rec, which I've never really watched Parks and Rec, but same sort of thing. There's like talking head interview portions. You get to see them interacting with each other, and all of this is improvised and brilliantly. And so because of that, Christopher Guest works with a lot of the same actors in all his movies. But yeah, so the first one, Waiting for Guffman. And what did you see? You saw that by yourself or with some other girlfriend before me?
Yeah, I did.
Guess who's back in the motherfucking house?
At the movie theaters. I don't know if it's the movie theater or the video. It might have been the movie theaters. But I wanted to see it.
Yeah. What made you want to see it? Because you'd never seen anything like that before, right?
No. I saw Trainspotting. I don't know if I just wanted to see it. It looked funny. The ad looked funny. The advertisement.
Those pants look funny.
I saw the trailer.
He's got those crisscross jeans on. But yeah, he's
I'm going to do a scene from the movie Raging Bull.
Did you fuck my wife?
What?
Did you fuck my wife?
How can you ask me a question like that? How can you ask me? I'm your brother and you ask me that?
Did you fuck my wife?
There's so many good parts in that. The guy doing the audition.
He's reading both parts, this actor?
No, he's not reading both parts. I think he's just reading the Robert De Niro part. But yeah, Waiting for Guffman is about like a small town that's having their 175th or 150th anniversary or something. It's a weird number. It's like sesquicentennial, which was like 100. It's not even a bicentennial. It's like 150 or 175 years. Blaine, Missouri, right? Where they make stools. That's all they're known for. But it's this like basic town. They put on a play and then highlighting the people in the town who are going to be part of this play. So it's a lot of, they show the audition process. Corky, played by Christopher Guest, is like this effeminate guy. You don't really know if he's gay or not, but they always allude to that. But he keeps talking about his wife and how he shops for his wife's clothes. He buys all her clothes, all this stuff. But so there's like little hints that he might be gay, but he like went to New York once, I think, right? And so he's big time. I think he did something in New York for like a week or something. And then, and so he comes back and he's directing this play and he's taking it way too seriously. And it's so good. And it's really like bad theater. But if you've ever been in theater, it's so many things from high school theater or summer stock or like any of those amateur theaters.
He did like Backdraft Live, the musical.
Backdraft the musical was
and
one of
he had a real smoke to come out of the vents.
And then they called the fire department. That was one of his previous plays that he had done, right? But yeah, so and then that one guy, the young kid he hires for the play, he has kind of a crush on him. He's like a 20-some-year-old guy, mechanic.
Yeah, his father is Brian Doyle Murray.
And Brian Doyle Murray is his dad, and he doesn't let him do the play. And then Christopher Guest gets all mad. And so he ends up playing. That's why he's in that picture right there with the makeup on and everything. Because he jumps in and just decides to put himself in.
Tell your dad I
role.
hate it.
He said, "Your stupid ass face." But yeah, so that was the first one that really took off.
A lot of people did. David Cross is in that movie.
Yeah, quick David Cross cameo.
I creeped him out when I did the podcast because I told him, man, you know how you in Waiting for Guffman, you play this guy that's under this circular thing where there was a lunar Martian landing in Blaine, Missouri. But then in Men in Black, you play a guy that's seen aliens, and Men in Black go to talk to you about it. Did you ever think that you're playing the same character?
What did he say?
Never thought about it like that. But on the YouTube comments, somebody said, "Wow, weird how Felipe just turned the interview into an interview."
He started interviewing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Cross was king of those little cameos. David Cross's performance, by the way, in Just Shoot Me years ago as no, it was...
You're little.
Oh, my God. As Enrico Colantini's brother.
Apparently, he still has some sort of brain trauma. They're pretty sure he'll get better, but they just don't know when.
So funny. I think it was he came back. They had him come back later in the episode. I mean, in the season. But okay, so that was Waiting for Guffman. The very first thing, though, I want to back up. I have a clip in the folder there, an SNL swimming clip, because Christopher Guest was on SNL for like a season.
He was?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I want to say 86 or something. When was Christopher Guest on SNL? 84.
84.
Yeah, 84. Season 10.
After Eddie Murphy left.
Huh?
After Eddie Murphy.
Sorry, he was in 84 as a member of Spinal Tap, and then he was in the cast during season 10, whatever year that was.
So
it was after Eddie Murphy. It was after they cleaned house and got rid of all the cast members that one year, and then they put all new cast members on. And I think it was him, Billy Crystal. Who?
Lenny was in.
Yeah, Lenny was in, or Michael McKean was in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that season that he was in, but Christopher Guest and Billy Crystal used to do that those characters like sitting down and going, "Oh, I hate when I have a hangnail and I pull it backward and it pulls all the skin off. Oh man, I hate that." And they just keep doing painful stories over and over and over. That was their character, but he didn't do much on SNL, but he did these shorts. So it's them as brothers who do synchronized swimming, but Martin Short can't swim.
Lake Gitchigumi. This thing. Sure. This'll work. No one's done this one yet. Yeah, exactly. Right. We're Indians. Oh, it's okay. Wear knee pads next time.
And he looks like something's wrong with him, too. And then Harry Shearer is his brother. But this little sketch, this little short film, that's what Christopher...
Turn on live too?
Yeah, sometimes. But that's one of the things they did best, that Christopher Guest did best, was those short films. And SNL doesn't really do this anymore, but those were some of the best things. So this one was the first sort of fake documentary that he played with, was these short films that he did there. And then, so after Waiting for Guffman, he did Best in Show, right? The dog movie.
Yeah.
It was based on like the... what do you call that? The American Kennel Club.
Best in Show.
It's not called Best in Show, but it's something else. It's just the American Kennel Club dog show, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever, that they show on Thanksgiving or something. And it was Fred Willard plays a commentator based kind of on Yogi Berra.
Yes.
Because Yogi Berra, for some reason, was given the gig to be the commentator on the dog show with that guy. from Seinfeld, John O'Hurley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mr. Petersman.
Mr. Actually, he wasn't with. Yeah, I think he was with him for a while, Jay Peterman. But so they did this one with dogs, and it was great. That was really funny. Catherine O'Hara again, Eugene Levy. Then they did Mighty Wind, which was all about like these folk singers coming together for a reunion. His topics are so weird. They're so basic. Like it's not going to be funny from the sound of it. These old folk singers come together in New York for a reunion to honor this guy who died, who used to put on concerts with these guys. He used to be a promoter, I guess. I think it's kind of like the hippie guy, Bill Graham, right? Bill Graham Presents over on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And he would put together shows with like Grateful Dead and stuff. And he had the Shoreline Amphitheater and all that stuff. And then, but Mighty Wind is more folk singer groups. And then they've got like, Jane Lynch is great in that. She plays, I guess, a former adult star who gets into folk singing. But
and you have the brothers who are in charge of the whole folk festival.
The brothers,
their dad, he used to run the whole thing. So they want to honor his death and honor him with a big folk music festival. And it's going to be aired on PBS.
Yeah, PBS. Yeah, they're going to show like a big concert.
What's funny is that the characters on this show, I think it's like a tribute to Spinal Tap, because 3 of the guys who are folk singers is the same characters from Spinal Tap.
Yeah,
which I didn't know. I didn't get.
Yeah, because he never saw it. Yeah, you never saw Spinal Tap, so that was the missing piece in all.
So they start talking about their folk tune career, and they mentioned that one time they got they made an album for them, and there were no holes in the middle. And people had to make their own holes.
People had to make their own holes. I forgot about that.
Then it showed Eugene Levy with Catherine O'Hara, and they were like a duet.
Yeah.
And they were like, they started off great, but then they break up, I guess, and Mickey goes crazy. Yeah, right? Oh, when nowhere.
By the way, and this song won an Oscar for best song in a movie. And if I hear this song, it's gonna stay in my head for like a week. But they used to date, right? And then they split up. These characters, and they wrote this song, and so they're supposed to do a kiss at the end. So it's a really tense-filled moment because they had an argument before this performance, and then
they haven't seen each other since.
They haven't seen each other, since the '60s. But they sing so great, and And Michael McKean's wife and Michael McKean, they wrote all the songs to this movie on a road trip to Canada in the car, and this song is just so beautiful. And she's learned to play auto harp just for this movie.
Nice.
That's the thing. Like Parker Posey learned how to play banjo to be in Mighty Wind, and she barely plays it in the movie. But they go through all this stuff, all this prep work before the movie. And these movies are not big budget movies. They're not paying a lot of money, but these people do it for the love of the movie.
He's just known for American Pie Dad, bro.
That's to you. Now he's known for Schitt's Creek, though, more. But
oh, that's right.
I can't watch Schitt's Creek. We'll have another discussion about that. But to me, that show is unwatchable. I know that's an unpopular opinion. Anyway, that's it for that one.
Well, there's one that didn't do so well, and that was the one about the mascots.
Forgot about that.
We went to that movie like
we saw that in the theater, didn't we?
No, we rented it.
We did?
We rented it.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh no.
I totally forgot about that. You're right. It wasn't all no.
It was the one right after
Didn't work.
Consideration.
Yeah. But it was years after, right?
Years after.
2016, that said.
Yeah, like I need to watch this again, and we'll come back to that one.
Yeah, we should watch this.
So if you're watching this, go watch that one. Let us know.
I felt like it didn't fit with the others. It didn't have the same.
Also, it looks
Feel.
brighter. It was shot brighter. You know, the other one looked like it's shot. You could tell by the color of the video or whatever.
You know what I felt about it? I felt like when I saw this movie, I felt like they were trying too hard. Yeah, well, they were trying too hard where the other movies were just natural and
ass face.
So here they're trying to make something happen with this mascot thing. It just didn't feel like it was the same energy as the other ones.
Is it a Christopher Guest movie?
It is.
What else you got?
That was surprising. Oh, they made it for Netflix. I forgot. That was straight to Netflix, huh? Yeah, it felt like everybody was too on. You know what I mean? Like they weren't natural. Like you watch Best in Show and they feel like natural people, like they're regular people. You watch look up Waiting for Guffman, Less is More acting.
I want to try that less is more kind of acting, where you just, when you're talking to someone, you close your eyes and then you look at them when you're not talking to the person. I mean, you open your eyes when you're looking away, but then when you talk to the person, you go like that. And you open your eyes and then you look back at the person, but you never open your eyes when you're talking to them.
Fred Willard and Catherine O'Hara play a couple who is a travel agent. They're travel agents who've never been anywhere. They never left town. But it's so funny because the next scene is, or the next line after that is she's talking to him and she said, oh, he gives me notes on my performances. Like sometimes we'll just sit and he'll give me notes for hours. Her husband gives her notes. So they're just travel agents, but they do this small time acting stuff. And they have these delusions of grandeur that they're kind of big time because they've been in all the plays in town.
Oh yeah, man.
You know, so they know it all.
After the audition, they left the chair behind. It goes, and then he looks at the director and goes, "You want me to strike it?"
Yeah, he want to strike.
Oh, we know the lingo.
We know the terms.
We worked with Corey before.
Yeah, we worked with Corky before, but like they act like they're special. It's just, but that's how real people do act. I've dealt with regular people on a set before, and they start to consider themselves actors, man. And it's just really great.
At the audition for that show, Better Call Saul, they're dressed like a vampire.
What?
The actor from Better Call Saul.
Oh, Bob Odenkirk. Oh, yeah, he's in that. He's waiting in the hallway. What?
Yeah, he's dressed like
you remember all these really obscure sections.
He's out there dressed like a vampire. He's walking around like this. Like, it's funny though because he's gonna audition as Dracula.
Yeah. For what? And like,
just let the man that was auditioning. There he is, right there.
Yeah.
Just let the guy who was auditioning for with Raging Bull.
Yeah, because
my wife.
Yeah, he decides to audition.
He's reading both lines, by the way. He is reading.
Really?
Did you fuck my wife? Why would you say something like that? No, seriously, you fuck my wife. You're crazy. No,
oh, I didn't know he's reading both lines.
And then, like,
can you look up Waiting for Guffman, Raging Bull audition?
They go to this campsite in the middle of the woods, a cabin, and there's a guy who's, I don't know what they call these people who stuff animals.
Taxidermist.
He's a taxidermist. And they ask him, would you like to be in our play? And he's a narrator, man.
Yeah.
This motherfucker puts off.
Yeah, mascara.
Full on makeup.
Yeah, eyeliner.
Here's
the audition.
I'm going to do a scene from the movie Raging Bull. You fucked my wife.
Also, Corky hates the people who are
What?
good.
You fucked my wife? How can you ask me
Yeah,
a
'cause
question
Bob,
like that? How can you ask me? I'm your
here we go.
brother, and you ask me that? Where do you get the balls big enough to ask me that?
Basically, for the last 15 years, I have been the music teacher at Blaine High. And part of my job, and a very important part, is to put on a show every year.
Bob Balaban's so serious.
You told me about Balaban and
This
someone
year
else
is
smokes
going
pot and write movies.
Robert Altman. Bob Balaban and Robert Altman are like, they were best friends. They co-wrote and almost every Robert Altman movie.
That's funny, man. You fuck my wife. Why would you say that?
I forgot he did both lines. That's funny. All right, that's all I have to say about Christopher Guest movies, but you guys should go out and watch some of them if you haven't before. And I know it looks like a bunch of boring white people, but they're funny. There aren't any non-white people in the movies, right? Pretty much.
That one dude and when the producer are waiting for
Home for Purim,
Home for
her
Purim.
assistant. We met with him, Jordan
Yeah.
Black. Yeah, Jordan Black. He was that scene. He's like Jennifer Coolidge, who's great, by the way. She's so great in both that and Mighty Wind, but she's a producer on the movie And For Your Consideration. And she said, it's like
The scene where
she said,
what's his name?
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais asked her to do in a British accent. Do the drapes match the curtains?
Match the carpet. Does the
Match the carpet.
carpet match the
Doesn't
drapes?
always curly.
She says pretty much all brown and curly because she has platinum blonde hair,
Yeah.
right? And then he says, does the carpet match the drapes? And she said, no, it's pretty much all brown and curly. And he's like, oh, like his face.
I like when they ask you what's it like to be a producer. A lot of taking out of the wallet.
Yeah.
They want spoons.
She said, sometimes you have to buy crazy things like snacks. Like, she didn't understand paying for anything. But anyway, that's it on that. Anything else? I have one more thing, which is a little game for you.
No.
I like to end on a game, but no.
But you're right about when you say waiting for Guffman and you say you work with theaters. There's dramatic. Somebody gets one person out of the show gets dramatic. I can't remember my lines and they're crying the night before.
Somebody.
So Corky locks himself up in his house.
Yeah, Corky locks himself up. That's when he's throwing a fit because the play isn't going his way. Have you ever been in a play before? Like an actual play in front of an audience and everything with
just shifting gears, the clothes.
You went to the big time right away. You did a multicam. That's a multicam sitcom, which is like a play. Because those multicam sitcoms started like a play. That's why the set is like that and the cameras are out there like the audience. But we did that line. That's so funny. But we did I was in a lot of plays. And in high school, my first episode of drama came from my director himself. I swear he was talking about how he was so stressed about this production and it wasn't going well. He just reamed us. He just yelled at all of us for hours for not knowing our lines and all this stuff. Like, we are 10th grade. And he was just going off. And what was it? It was which play was this? This was The Crucible. No, this wasn't The Crucible. Oh, what was it? Oh, it was Don't Drink the Water, which was a Woody Allen play, actually. And he was going off on everybody in this play. And how we didn't know our line. I knew my lines, but I'm sitting there looking around like, oh, no, he ain't talking about me. But I had never had anybody flip out like this before. And this is the teacher / the drama teacher / director. He was so upset. And he claimed he was having like shooting pains in his arm, like he was going to have a heart attack or something. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I've never dealt with anything like this before. And then when I got to 12th grade, my senior year, I switched to a theater magnet school. And so they did several plays a year and then one big musical. They actually had funding. So we did The Crucible there and then Midsummer Night's Dream. And what was my point there? Oh, the stage manager flipped out. She was, first of all, we all had to sit down. Carly has something she wants to say. And so Carly comes out, she's the stage manager, and she just started crying about how I tried so hard to make this a really well running machine or well-oiled machine, whatever she said. And things just, you guys are missing your mark and you guys are blah, blah, blah. And the props are going to the wrong place. Like, she just flipped out on everything she hated for the last, like she wasn't getting enough attention or something. I didn't understand why this was happening. But those breakdowns, those meltdowns happen in almost every place since then.
When we were working on Taco Shop, the sound guy was gonna fight the director.
He should have, because that sound sounded horrible in that movie.
Yeah.
The sound guy.
He told the director, he goes, you're telling me to cut. He goes, you're telling everybody to cut, but I'm still recording. When You gotta tell me.
First.
I should be the first guy to, because it should be on.
It's like the bass player and the drummer. They need to talk to each other before ending the song. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones that you need to look at.
They were gonna get in a fist fight.
They did get in a fight, right?
Yeah.
A physical fight. That movie had promise, but yeah, the sound is a bad thing. And they couldn't even fix it in the mix, like save it in the mix. But yeah, there's drama on every play that you're in. Who's that blonde woman?
I have no idea.
There's no blonde woman in that movie.
I have there's people that have more lines in that movie than me. More scenes.
Your lines aren't even in a language. Your lines are gibberish.
I've never seen this video, this cover.
I've never seen that cover either.
I've seen that one because I'm in the back with a mask, the way it should be.
Yeah. That's weird. I've never seen that cover.
That movie went straight to...
Paula Jai Parker was probably the most well-known person in there at the time, right?
Yeah.
She was from, she's not from the one from Scary Movie. That's Regina Hall.
Yeah.
I forget what movie she was in, Paula Jai Parker. But she had some other movies under her belt.
That movie bombed so hard that you gotta, in order to watch that movie, you gotta buy Coneheads and Last Action Hero
compilation.
And then you'll see a clip that says, "Would you also like to buy a taco shop?"
I know we're supposed to talk about this another episode, but you're not lying there about bombs and putting bombs together to sell them, because that one of the favorite movies we had was Stuart Saves His Family.
Yeah.
Which was an Al Franken character, Stuart Smalley.
Good movie.
From SNL.
Underrated.
Underrated. It is a Lorne Michaels production. This movie cannot be found anywhere, I don't think.
Nowhere.
But Al Franken plays like a 12-stepper kind of guy. Like he's in every 12-step program out there.
With no schooling, by the way.
With no school. He's not a therapist or anything, and they make that disclaimer all the time. But the skits were funny on SNL, but they were short. And this is a full-length movie. And I tell you, his Vincent D'Onofrio, which is such a surprise. He seems to take any job coming his way, even though he's so good. But Vincent D'Onofrio plays his bully brother, and then his dad. They're both bullies in his life. Yeah, that guy. Oh, he's so funny. You're laughing now without even seeing the movie.
I'm laughing at that part where he shoots his Vincent D'Onofrio by accident, and the fat sister freaking out. He shot that! He shot that! He shot him! Then he goes, now. Normally I wouldn't tell you.
Normally I wouldn't say
because of your weight problem, but is there a pound cake nearby that you can just munch on?
Well, they haven't changed much.
Shut him! Shut him!
Okay, Jody, look, I would never ordinarily say this, but is there any way you can get to a pound cake?
He tries to encourage her overeating.
Oh my God.
Eating.
Oh my God. Like, you talk about like that movie has the funniest intervention ever.
Yeah. Stupid. I don't know if they have any scenes here at all from this. Yeah. Anyway, okay, that picture you just had up right there, the compilation right there. So this is the only way you can find this movie. Is on a DVD with Coneheads and Wayne's World. And you know which movie's carrying this
Wayne's World.
This project is Wayne's World. They're only buying it for Wayne's World, but you get Coneheads and Stuart Saves His Family for free.
There's no way you could buy that Stuart Saves His Family by itself.
You can't buy it by itself. I don't even think it's streaming. Coneheads might be streaming because Chris Farley's in it, but the Stuart Saves His Family, nobody else is in that. And it is so funny. It is really hilarious. So if you could find this, we have it on DVD on that exact compilation. We'll burn it for you. But yeah, you gotta check it out because it's really funny.
You'll see your dad in. Oh my God, you'll see your dad in that movie. So eat a lot.
Or when he and Vincent D'Onofrio, sorry, I didn't go to Harvard, and then they high five each other. Oh, the easement. Yeah, there's so many little pieces in that movie. We gotta watch it again. Laugh. Laugh, laugh, laugh. And then we'll talk about it for real, because this is just, I don't want to ruin all the jokes, but. Are we done with this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the last thing, which is just a little game for Felipe to play called Whose Living Room Is This? Famous living rooms from sitcoms. Tell me what, you see the living room and you tell me what sitcom it's from. But
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
no, it's, what?
Oh, no? Okay, Three's Company. I don't have my glasses.
I don't want you to read the
I'm not reading. I don't have my glasses.
Oh, okay, yeah, he doesn't have his glasses. He can't see.
Oh, the first one?
No, it's Three's Company. You're right.
Seinfeld.
That's Seinfeld, of course. You know that one. You watch it every day.
That's first season, though.
Yeah.
That apartment.
Oh, this is hard to see. Sorry.
Let's go.
Oh, see, you already know what it is.
Oh.
He's singing the song. There it is.
My glasses off.
Anyway, that living room was hard to find.
Oh, here we go.
What about this one?
Big Mama? Roseanne. Okay.
It was Big Mama. She was a big mama.
Oh, that one? Let me see. Damn. Who's the boss? Ropers?
Kitchen over there. A piano nobody ever plays on the show.
Family Guy.
No.
Oh.
Family Guy.
Because they have a piano nobody plays either. Oh, man.
Lois gives piano lessons. What are you talking about?
I don't know that one, man.
It's King of Queens.
I don't know.
Yeah, because they have a little, you can't see it, but they have the little like open window to the kitchen.
That's your basic sitcom house, huh?
They're all pretty much the same.
Like the kitchen always on that side.
Oh, do I have, what's the other one I have in the folder? I think there's a, oh, I don't have one. I was looking for one from Married with Children, but I couldn't find that one. And I was also looking for one from Silver Spoons, because their living room doesn't look like anybody's living room. And they had the train running through, remember? But anyway, that fell flat. We got no.
How about
That's
today?
it. Today in history. Well, we could do that. I meant to do that at the top, but it's all right. It's pretty boring on this day in history. 1908, first American horror movie silent film, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, premieres in Chicago.
People must have been scared as shit of that movie. Because when we did the History for Fools on film, the first time when they went to go see like a short film, it was not even a film. It was like a bunch of
it was a reel. Yeah.
Paper slapping with that.
Yeah.
It was a locomotive coming at them. Half of the audience ran out the fucking building.
Yeah, they thought it was going to come through the screen. Yeah. Yeah, that was
also,
what do they call that? The something scope.
Also, in
stereo
1907, my grandmother was born, Lucia Esparza Soto, in 1907, December 1st.
Really?
1907. Because when I did the seance, I want to speak. They asked me who you want to speak to. I want to speak to my grandma. I don't want to speak to anybody about it. I want to speak to my grandma. Because then on the way home, I felt bad. Well, even in death, I don't want to speak to my mom.
What kinds of things did the medium do?
Because she's still like this a lot, you know.
She's trying to.
I'm having they're saying stuff like blah blah blah.
Was it all positive stuff?
I don't know, man. I was
They didn't say like Chuyito, don't wear your hair like that, get a haircut.
I was waiting for her to say Chuyito, then I believe it.
Yeah, so she never said Chuyito.
No.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
But then I was waiting for her to say. I also didn't want to cry.
Yeah.
So I was like holding back.
That's why I didn't schedule it on a day when you had other stuff to go to afterward, because I didn't know if they were going to make you cry. But then I figured, like, how could she do a seance like
But at the end of the
Zoom?
thing, I told her, listen, it sounded more like you were talking about my mom when you were talking about my grandmother. My mom passed away, I think, 3 months ago. And my mom she did a lot of things before she was married. Maybe she wanted to go back to them. I don't know.
So nothing new that you learned from this grandmother interaction?
It was just sort of keep going forward and stay busy. And
I don't like those.
Be more Ovaltine.
See, I want the one though. Remember when we had that Karen Ronkowski, who is also a comedian, but we had her on the podcast, and she gave us she did a reading about Rodrigo, but we did not expect it. And she just said, "I'm getting this," and she gave all this information, and Rodrigo was floored. And I think he started to tear up immediately. And you know how he started to clam up too. He didn't want to talk about it. But his uncle had just died like a couple months before that. And she really got into it. I was surprised. She locked in right away. The other guy, AJ, when he did that medium, what we had, AJ Barrera, and I thought he was talking about Martin or Rodrigo, but he was actually talking about my dad. And that's available on What's Up Fool podcast. But I started bawling because my dad had just died, and I didn't expect him to turn on to me.
Yeah.
And he didn't know he was talking about me, but he was like, I see this person, and this is he gave all this information. But then afterward, I was like, did he go through my social media or something, And then like, look at this before he came on the podcast. But I don't know how much I had up there about my dad because I don't post about my dad, But I did post about his death not too long before that. So I'm like, maybe he has an assistant who went back. They had to have, because that's the new way.
I'm seeing drawings.
Yeah, because he didn't say anything about drawing. Oh. My dad drew, he was a really good artist. Anyway, the other thing, 1999, on this day, 1999, All My Children star Susan Lucci finally won her Daytime Emmy after being nominated 19 times, the longest period of unsuccessful nominations in television history. Why bother nominating her for 19 years in a row?
Daytimes.
I think so. She was on All My Children from the beginning, so I think it was like 35, 40 years or something like that they were on.
I never saw her on that show.
I watched that show since I was 5.
She did a mob movie, and I saw it. Man, that movie sucked.
She did a string of movies for Lifetime and ABC television movie of the week, which was like Mafia Princess.
I saw those. I saw
all those Mafia Princess movies.
The first one was good, but after a while, it became
yeah, they were fluff movies. They were TV movies.
Her movies, Mafia Princess. I really, really feel that all those shows that 50 Cent is producing,
they're like that.
They follow the same rhythm.
Oh, it's the same.
Trust me, they follow the same rhythm where they just like the first scene is because the first scene in Mafia one, when she becomes boss, they see I think her husband getting whacked, but then you expect more of that. But now, man, it's just more about just their lives.
Yeah, Tony
They're
Curtis
not killing people.
Tony Curtis was her dad in that. He was a mob boss.
I think
I never saw that poster.
Serial Killer Extreme.
He did Power and BMF or something like that. BMF.
Power.
And Power.
Yeah, those shows like Power are the same kind of vibe as are her shows. By the way, I binged the whole season one of those.
Of what? Power?
Power.
Oh, that's got the guy that looks like Gary Owen.
I think they wanted Gary Owen for.
They couldn't have wanted Gary Owen because Gary Owen would have said yes, right? He would have said yes to that role. Come on. But yeah, the funny thing is that Susan Lucci, who is Italian, you forget she's Italian if all you watch is All My Children because she doesn't play an Italian person on there. But then she goes and does all these mob movies on the side, which aren't hardcore mob movies at all. They're very light-hearted mob movies. But she had this whole career of other mob movies on the side. And you're like, oh yeah, she's Italian. Okay, yeah, she's Italian. But no Italian at all on All My Children. She's Erica Kane through and through. And that's how I knew her since I was a kid. She was in my house every day since I was like 5, 4, however old I was. And there she is with Charlie Brent up at the top. That was when she started. And I loved her. I thought she was great. And she had a lot of plastic surgery over the years, but she didn't really change too much how she looked.
No. She's still alive.
Still alive. She's married to some German guy named Helmut. And he was like a house husband and everything. He was a businessman, but he mostly stayed home with the kids and everything. But
Helmut.
But she played a model, and I was like, first of all, she was like 5 feet tall. There's no way she'd be a model. And, you know, she had kind of a big nose for being, she never changed her nose. I always appreciated that. I mean, it's not big, it's just long. But, yeah, Helmut, oh, he died. Oh, I didn't know that. When was that? Damn, they were married in 1969. Wow. That's crazy. Her whole life, though, her whole career was on All My Children, pretty much. So, anyway, that's all I got for today.
That's all I binge for today.
Stupid. All right. Say goodbye.
See you later, man. Go watch those shows. I don't know if you like Waiting for
Let us know which of the
Random Family.
What?
So Stuart Saves His Family.
Stuart Saves His Family. Yeah. Let me know. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you like. If you like or you really disagreed with something we liked or whatever.
Send us a picture if you bought the DVD of the triple threat.
I'm sure you could find it at a swap meet, at a dollar store, at something.
The 3 DVDs.
Blockbuster
three
closeout.
DVDs come in that pack.
Yeah, 3.
Wow.
Actually, I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, there were 3 in that, right? They weren't like all on one DVD.
No.
I have a feeling that maybe the other 2 were. Coneheads is awful. I would never put that in the mix. I hated Coneheads as a sketch for years. I could not stand it. It's too Dan Aykroyd-ish. And you know, I have a love-hate relationship with Dan Aykroyd. I do not like his stuff, except he wrote Ghostbusters, which is like, that's a winner in my book. But other than that, I can't stand it.
David Spade played the ICE agent in Coneheads.
Oh, that's right. David Spade was great in all those little movies. Anyway, that's it. So happy binging, and we'll see you next week.
Happy binging.